Welcome back, everyone, on another It's Basically Monday podcast. I think we've been doing pretty good these last couple weeks, pretty consistent, always on Wednesday around this time. If you like listen live, could you imagine if we had like live listeners? That would be crazy. But I don't think we do. But like either way, we're here back to give you some good ass entertaining conversation and whatever else we can provide for the time being. I'm here with the usual John and Gouda. How you guys doing?
Good.
All right.
Happy to
Any
give you this prime reaction channel right here, live for you.
a prime, yeah, like literally right before we started recording. I'm like, how did I find out? I don't know. I found out John is following. He's like, yeah, I follow this. Oh, I asked him where did he hear about that cheesecake factory incident from last week's episode? Because I still have not really heard about that like anywhere online. So I asked him. He said he heard it from a YouTube reaction video. So I was like, what? Like, so I wanted to dig into that for sure. But before I do, how are you doing, Kuda?
Uh, all right. Can't really complain.
Anything
Um,
anything crazy happened lately?
no, I don't think so. I was gonna, oh, well, yeah, no. Although I'm wondering if you have been hearing any of the news about how Britney Spears released that memoir, or does that not sound familiar?
Like, like maybe, but like saying what? I like didn't she say something about Justin Timberlake about like
Yeah,
how
that hasn't,
he like got her pregnant? Yeah, I heard about that.
yeah, that has nothing to do with me. But I was just laughing about it before we started recording because we were trying to remember a song that Justin Timberlake did with Timbaland. And then like you brought up his name, and then I was thinking about all the
That's
things that she
right.
said about him in in her memoir, that he literally aborted the baby himself. Like he put his hand inside her and like pulled
What?
it out. No,
That's
that
what
didn't.
happened?
No,
Okay, I
that's
was
not what
gonna
happened.
say, like,
But
holy shit. Like, I
but I
didn't read
mean,
that part
she
about
might
it.
as well have like said because like that's how
Holy
much that's
shit.
how badly he got slandered. I don't know. Memoirs are weird. I don't even like what's the like I guess I get the point of it, but like are you supposed to like is that your time to air your grievances towards everyone that you've ever known?
Pretty
Is that
much.
the point?
It's like the point is to
Yeah.
basically use your use all of the hardships that could ever be conceived in your life as currency. Like that's it.
But it only worked
Every
if you're like somewhat popular.
almost every time I've heard of one, at least recently, I've been like, wow, what are they thinking? Because didn't Jada do it recently too? I'm like, can't
Oh
you read the
yeah.
room? I'm not sure anyone wants to know anything about about you. But I might, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know
Yeah,
what the hell
that's
I'm talking
true.
about. But yeah,
Yeah,
interesting.
after that memoir though, like whenever I think of Justin Timberlake, like I do have like a negative thought like instantly. And I couldn't remember why before we like started recording and like his name got mentioned, but that was the first thought in my mind. I was like, I think I might not like him anymore and I don't remember quite why. And then you mentioned it, so I was like, yes, that's right. Which is crazy because like I just briefly maybe like heard the memoir. Like I maybe like read like the first paragraph of an article about it or something like that. And yeah, and that changed like my view on him completely. Like, this is fact, garbage. He's a piece of shit. Like, which like I'm assuming it is if it's like this popular. Like that's got like some validity to it. But yeah,
Yeah. What makes it valid? Is it what's the other one called? An autobiography? Is that the one you do about yourself?
Um, I
yeah, yep.
think so.
Okay, yeah. So that's a legit one. And then a memoir is just a scandalous rag.
A scandalous rag, a memoir. Yeah, that's actually that sounds about right.
Okay. Huh. All right. Remind me never to write a memoir.
Never to write a memoir. Yeah, unless you have grievances to air, there's really no reason. Yeah, you would write a memoir. But
Yeah.
yeah, let's I definitely want to dive into why you like. First off, like, let's read the room here. Like, who here actually like watches reaction videos or is subscribed to a reaction video style channel?
So you're asking Gouda then?
Yes. My answer is I hate that. So no.
Yeah, no, I am not subscribed to anything like that.
Okay. So let's bring this back to you, John.
Okay.
What do you see? What kind of value does reaction channels bring you?
Humor in a lot of ways.
So you think it's funny? Like, isn't the video itself that he's showing already funny?
Not always, because it's the videos actually they actually react to aren't always necessarily funny themselves. Like their opinions on them sometimes are funny, or how they view the video is sometimes funny.
Interesting. Like, okay, okay, I guess. But yeah, I mean, like, I just noticed recently that like a lot of like popular, like newer, maybe not newer, but like newer, like established YouTubers, like that just came around in the last like 3 years, like do a ton of those, and like that is like it's like their bread and butter almost. Like, and I'm just thinking like how, like who's actually spending their time watching this? Like I might like check in on a stream or like a video where they do that, but to sit through the whole thing, like I just like why can't I just watch the actual video? And like sometimes they'll be like pausing and like talking over it. And it's like shut the fuck up. I'm trying to listen to this. Like so like I'm just like like in my mind I'm like these guys I was like making the worst kind of content that YouTube has to offer in my opinion. So it's like when YouTube suggests me like something like this, like I'm just like, man, where's the world going towards? Like, but like obviously like a bunch of people must like this if like if it's like being suggested and it's like getting popular. But like I don't know. My take on it is that which now that I know you are a fan of these, I think maybe my take would change. But before I knew you were a fan of those, my take on it was like, okay, like maybe if you have like a lot of like free time on your hands and like you don't really care to like get the first like the content like firsthand and like you're
I,
just okay with like getting it secondhand,
I
that
think
you
you
would just like sit through and like watch a whole like reaction video or
I,
something.
I
But
think
like
you
now
might
that I
be
know you,
I think you might be
like I know
misinterpreting
you
like
don't have
the
a lot of time on your hands.
Yeah,
So like
I think you're misinterpreting the intent. Like it's not about the original content. So like if your focus is to absorb the content through a reaction channel, then yeah, I would say that probably isn't the best form for that. Like that doesn't make sense. So obviously if you go in with that expectation, you're automatically setting yourself up to fail and not like it. So if your intent is to watch like the Cheesecake Factory lady video, like just go type that in Google and find that. Like that's fine. But I find out about those kind of things like you said. I the only reason I even knew about it was because it was mentioned on the channel because I don't go out and seek for that kind of stuff anyway. The only way I would find that kind of stuff is through that person. So I'm it's more about their opinions on like things that other people do because just like you and I talk, like the way I find out about you is in part through your opinion, like what you share with me. So it's just interesting. It's just a different method for like hearing someone's opinions on things. It's not necessarily about
so
like individual pieces of content.
do they like the ones you follow, like do they actually like have like substantial thoughts about these videos or are they just like whoa damn or
No,
like
the two that I follow like talk in depth about depending on the video. Like some of the videos where people like there might have been like a racial video or something where someone might have gotten upset because they thought something racist was happening. So like they might talk about how like culturally like black people or some sort of people like maybe they feel this way or perceive something this way and like what how people interact based on those types of things. So yeah, sometimes it's interesting just to hear other people's thoughts on things like that. Like especially when a lot of the stuff is, like you said, it's just going to be popular stuff. So the Cheesecake Factory lady, like I'm sure they would not have reacted to her if she wasn't, like if that didn't blow up. So it's just like since everyone's talking about that thing, people whose opinions get like valued through reactions, basically they become larger YouTubers. I'm not following one where like the person's just staring at a video and they're just going, pause, wow, and then
Like
they
I
just
see a
play. Like,
lot like that.
yeah, that's not what I'm
Like
watching.
there's a lot like that. Like
No,
where
the
they
original.
basically say nothing. And I'm just like, all your reactions are fake. Like your this whole
Oh,
video is just
yeah,
like
I'm not involved
your
with
fake
anything like
ass
that.
surprised reactions. I'm just like, oh.
Involved.
Yeah, I'm not involved with anything like that. Like most of the time, the actual video they're reacting to might be like a 2 or 3 or 4 minute clip or something like that, and the actual video that they put out is usually between 16 and 20 minutes. Like, so they're talking about what the people are talking about in their videos sometimes. So like it depends. It depends on like what it is. But have you ever heard of like Jubilee?
Mm-mm.
No, okay. So like they're a network that just they basically just put a lot of different types of people in a room and like have you try to guess which one is the real one. So like if we all said there was like 7 people in a room, they're like, I'm a rapper, I'm a rapper, I'm a rapper, and there's the 7 people were supposed to guess like which one the rapper is. So
That's
basically someone's like faking it and their job is to figure out who. So they dwindle each other down based on like things they ask them to do. So sometimes the reaction channels that I watch will like watch those and like they'll try to guess which ones based on what they think those people actually are. So it's just interesting to see people's perception of like what's a rapper or like what's a school teacher or like it's just random shit like that.
so are these channels like is that literally like their main like thing they put out is reaction videos or do
But yeah,
they do
like the
other stuff and then reaction videos on the side?
no, the channel is a reaction channel.
Wow, interesting. I just feel like that nothing seems like easier to make as like a YouTube like producer. Like it's like okay, I'm just gonna like
Why is it
open up YouTube
does it need to be hard?
and like well like in a way because like isn't it gonna get so saturated with like that type of content where like
Yeah.
basically all of it's worthless now?
It,
I mean, I
no,
don't know if it's there yet, but like I would
I think
imagine it
that's
would be
already I
there.
think that's already happened, but like the people who are good at it are at the top now. Like they're like successful already, I think.
So you can be good at reacting to videos.
Yeah, if you have something that's worthwhile to say, yeah. That's most of content. Like I said before, like that's what this is. We're exactly doing that. It's interesting that you hate that you hate reaction videos so much, but like you're literally participating in making a long form version of that like every single week. That's exactly what we're doing.
But we're not like taking other people's like content and just being like, wow. Like we yeah, like the whole point is to talk like a bunch about like one thing. But like yeah, I guess I've never like seen like yeah, no, I've never seen a reaction video or stream where someone had like much of anything like substantial to say. But like obviously like I don't like it, so like I've never like gone out of my way to search for stuff. Like I've like seen it a couple times like wow, this is complete garbage. Like, let me never waste my time on this again. But so like, man, maybe like you found a good one. I could see that, but like, I definitely don't see anything we do to be anything like that. But that's yeah, I guess that's from the
So
ones
what
I've seen.
so what would you say is
I
the differentiating factor then? Like having a something that you think is a worthwhile opinion, like and
The ones
how do you determine whether it's worthwhile? I would be curious to hear
the
your.
ones I've seen, like they're usually just like it's a picture of their face and then like maybe like a screen of the actual video like in the corner. And the video is usually no longer than like honestly like no longer than like 15 seconds, and even if it is they usually like cut that part out or whatever, and then there's like wow like whoa haha like no way, and like that's just like, and then like it'll do like close-ups of their face and be like whoa like, and like their reactions, and I'm just like I don't understand, this is just so fake, like
And
I can't
your algorithm
fathom that people would like that.
your algorithms are suggesting this to you?
Yeah, I mean they have, yeah. Either that or
That's
I've browsed by like top channels and like that's what it is. Like
that's crazy.
so I'm just like, this is so bad. Like I literally can't fathom how like people are like focusing on this. But if you're saying that like yours like stops it and be like, all right, let's break that down. Like that's got some like value, I would say. But if he's just like, oh no
No,
way,
nothing.
like
Yeah,
that's like
nothing.
worthless.
Yeah, the two that I follow, the one is called Playback, and the other one's called Abba and Preach, and neither one of them are like ha 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 ha. Ha. Like is they might make jokes from time to time, but like they also have something substantial to say. Yeah, otherwise I
Like
wouldn't bother listening.
like if I see you fall back out of your chair more than 2 times in a video, like
Oh,
and you're
well,
making like a video a day of you falling out of your chair from laughing so hard, like it's fake. Like I'm sorry, you can't be laugh you can't think everything is funny that often. But
yeah,
obviously if you
you
didn't do that, your reaction video would be boring as fuck. So like,
the the version of his reaction video you're describing, I've literally never seen anything like that before in my life.
well, consider yourself lucky, I suppose. But yeah, that's definitely out there.
That's wild.
Eh,
So
so
Yeah,
that's what.
actually,
Wait, so that's what you thought? That's what you thought I
yeah.
watched? You thought I watched someone go stop it and go, "Wow," about the Cheesecake Factory lady?
Yeah, like I thought basically like they saw the video and like maybe like put their hands on their cheeks and be like, oh, and like made like a super surprised face, like overly surprised and then there's like, wow, and then like just go to the next video instantly before your attention span realizes how shitty that was.
Oh, yeah, these are not shorts for sure. Like these are not. Yeah, these are at least like 11 to yeah, 11 to 16. Sometimes, like I said, 16 to 20. So it's a lot longer than that. That's good. I guess it's
yeah,
not the same type of video. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that I lied because I forgot. I do watch those type of videos that John is referencing, but they're usually reacting to other content creators like long form history type videos. So I'll watch someone like react to like a documentary of an event and then they'll like stop and give like their 2 cents about what happened or maybe some information that they missed. So it's more of like a director's like commentary type deal, except they didn't make the content. But I have heard that a lot of people don't like that. Like they don't like people reacting to their content in that way because they think they're just stealing it. So yeah, yeah. But
Yeah,
I do enjoy watching those videos.
yeah, I could definitely see the value in that because it's like, oh, you get another like an expert's opinion.
Hmm.
I feel like if you're an expert in something and then you make a reaction video, like that has totally different value than just like your average like idiot making a reaction video. It's like I don't like so like yeah, I can see that like for sure. And yeah, I have heard that like yeah, content creators are hating that. Like actually there was like one of the funny YouTube channels like I follow like put this like little thing at the end of their video and there's like, hey, like if you're seeing this video like like not on this YouTube channel, you should like follow us on Patreon or something so you can like so we can actually get paid for this. Cause like half of our videos like or it's like 3/4 of our views like are actually from people who just posted our videos and not even like on our channel. So like we don't get anything for that. And it's just like, wow, like that's kind of crazy. Like, so like, yeah, like I guess if your video goes viral, like that viral video might have like 200 million views. But if it's not your channel, then like you only will get like a percentage of those who actually find your channel from that video and then subscribe to it or like do something like useful. So
Yeah, the
I'm
whole
sure
thing is
that'll be a
busted.
problem later on. Yeah, like I was just thinking like,
Most
okay, like I could just gather all the funniest videos that I find in a day. Like literally just like go to Reddit, sort by like top videos and just like play like 10 of them in a row and just be like, huh, and just like make a super fake reaction every time and just like zoom in on your face like how they always do and then like go to the next one. And like somehow people love it, would love it. I just like But yeah, at the same time, you're not like, I'm just stealing that content. I'm just like, okay, well, I was gonna steal all this content, post it here, and like somehow me making a fake ass reaction is like worth something. But yeah, that's definitely different though than what you were talking about. I think like,
Yeah. Most of the ones that I would watch, unless it's something that, yeah, it's just a viral, like an Instagram post, like that's where it's not something that's like content they worked on. Like it's not that. It might be someone just talking into the screen and they might react to their opinion about something. And if it is something long form, like a podcast or something, the good reaction channels will like go to that studio and clear them getting permission to use the footage in a reaction. So
that's actually that's good. That's nice of
John,
them.
is there any type of 10-second reaction that you would find worthwhile?
no, I don't know in 10 seconds that I could that I would do that. Like if you are the person making the content in 10 seconds, I've actually seen some really funny 10-second content videos, but not reactions to that. Like you cannot give me enough of what you think about content by reacting to it in 10 seconds. Like not that I would find worthwhile. Now I will say like sometimes on places like Instagram and stuff, people add on to content. So like I've seen people do this this stupid shit of like things like Mexican moms say or like and so like they might go pass to the next Mexican person that wants to pick it up and then they'll add something to it. So like that in a way isn't really stealing, I guess it's improving upon. But yeah, straight reacting, and no, there's just no way. There's not enough time
Yeah.
in 10 seconds. There's really not even enough time in like 2 minutes. Like you need like I need at least 5 of your minutes to have for you to have like a realistic, well thought out opinion.
So there's no one right now online that you respect enough that you would stop and listen to what they have to say for 10 seconds and be like, oh, okay, that was.
No, there is, but those people only because those people have already established my respect for them through their long form content.
And
I can't get to know you based on 10 seconds.
and do they make like specifically like short clips, like 10-second like package, like produced in that way, or are they just like taking
Not
something from a long form video and then making a clip out of it?
I would say the latter.
Okay. Yeah. So generally, the people that you like listening to and trust are not just giving you a 10-second thought and that's it.
No. No, never.
Okay.
How could I?
Yeah.
And I would even say I trust them, but like enough for me to entertain the opinion, sure, because I feel like they have at least measured out to a certain extent what their thoughts are. That tells me a
Hmm.
lot about you and how you just live your life. And if I was actually in front of you, I'd want to talk to someone that does that.
Yeah. That's how I feel too, which is what makes me like so like I'm so confused about people that follow reactors because all you ever get about them is like a less than 10-second reaction over and over and over again. So like, what exactly are you following?
I honestly didn't even know that's what people considered reaction channels until you guys said that. Like in my opinion, reaction channels have always been long form. 'Cause that's all I've seen. So
Mm.
it's interesting to hear that you guys have had a completely separate uh, encounter with that.
Like the first time I've like really seen reaction videos, like for real, like the type that I'm thinking of, and then like what I can remember is, have you guys heard of like SSS Sniper Wolf or whatever?
Yeah, she's the worst. Like
Yeah, like
why would you ever
I
consume her
think she's
content?
like the inventor of that type of video, really. Like as far as I can tell, like maybe not the inventor, but like she's
Who
taken it all the way.
people don't follow her
who is
for
that?
reactions.
You said people don't follow her reactions.
Follow for her reactions.
What do they follow her for?
Dude, women in the content creation space that do what she does have just an entire army of people who, especially young, like impressionable, lonely men, Fucking
Simps.
simps. Yeah, and they just feed that shit. Like literally, they pay for everything.
God. So you think her entire popularity
I think a
is
very large portion of it.
mainly held up by Sims?
Do you know how she got her start? Like from reacting to video content that was supposedly like that she faked being hers.
She faked it being. I didn't know she
Yeah,
faked it being hers.
like
I
someone
thought it was
else was
obvious
making
that
the.
it wasn't hers.
No, it came out like recently that that's like yeah, apparently that's like what she was doing. Like the guy she was married to, like he was the one making the content, and like she was acting like it was his content or like it was her content. And
She
now that
was
they're
married to
divorcing,
him.
yeah, and now that they're divorcing, he's basically like suing the company for that. Like it's such a
Jesus
crazy
Christ.
like and again I only even hear about that kind of shit through like other means. Like if the only way I would ever hear about that is like if I might follow a Rocket League thing on Instagram and because they think I like Rocket League shit, that'll roll past my fucking feed. They'd be like, SSS Sniper
Right.
Wolf getting divorced. I'm
Right.
just like, wait, what?
I didn't even know she was married. So like, so her husband is suing her
The company that they had together that owns all of the, IP for her channel, I'm assuming.
because he's saying that was his content that he made while they were married.
He
Then like, that's
I
honestly,
I
I don't
think
even consider that stealing. Like, if I made a bunch of content like that was just based off of all the shit Lorraine was making, like half that shit is mine anyways. Like if we were not together, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, like that's pushing it. But we're literally like so tied together. You're married, like,
well
and
my
you're making the content, like that's
Well,
almost
well,
as
my
good as
point,
mine.
yeah, I don't know that his lawsuit. I don't know the exact terms of his lawsuit, or if it's even frivolous. It probably might be. Like, you probably don't need to sue her at this point. But like, it's just my point in that was just like the people who got to know her. I don't understand how you could start off with someone like that and be like, yeah, that's just like what I did. I faked it, and like you find
Well,
out,
there's
and it's
like
like, yeah, they're great. Like, wait, what? What?
there's definitely like some guy reaction video people out there though, like that are kind of popular. Like I don't know their names, but I've
You,
definitely seen some.
I think a large part of her act is her looks, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's impossible to be a single person and popular, but I'm saying in a woman. But I'm saying her specifically, the one you brought up. Yeah, like no, I don't think anything good when I think about her content,
Yeah,
and I'm not
same,
surprised because of what I've seen
same.
from her in other cases.
It's so bad.
Yeah, so yeah, I would definitely be running from that. Holy fuck. Yeah, I don't follow
Yeah,
any
that's
female
hilarious.
reaction channels or female channels, I guess.
No female channels?
Well, I don't really follow that many channels.
I feel like I follow a good amount of channels, but actually most of the channels I follow have basically turned into like larger companies. Like they may have started off as like one person, but like I feel like
Yeah,
all the channels I follow now are just like teams of people at least.
yeah, female channels. I don't think I follow any like exclusively female channels.
And when you say channel, are we talking about YouTube or just anyone making content online?
Yeah, I follow women who are like on social media, if that's what you mean. But just like YouTube, I don't think I do. I mean, I have to look. I really don't know.
Yeah, I almost had to like check my subscriptions real quick. I don't know that I see any, but again, like most of my channels that I'm subscribed to are like bigger teams now. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's like a team. Yeah, I can see teams. Oh no, I do. I do follow one.
Who
Uh, Amala Punobi? Fuck. What the fuck?
is this a simp channel?
No, she does political commentary. I don't even and what's crazy is like that's actually an example of like I found her through a short. So like I actually didn't get it wasn't 10 seconds, but like it was a very curated version of her own content. She wasn't like just stealing a piece of content and then being like, ha ha ha, wow.
The worst. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't see any. I just went through all my. Actually, this is the wrong. I'm on the wrong account. I forget. I have like two YouTubes. Yeah, I don't know that I follow any women channels either, which is crazy. Like, how did that? Why is that? But to be fair, I feel like there's not a lot of like. I follow like a lot of video game and
Oh,
science channels. Like,
Michelle McDaniel too. I follow her. I think she's actually kind of a reaction channel too now. Huh. I don't know. Now that I think about
Like,
it.
how about that?
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah, but she's also long form. So like the video I'm looking at, it's 15 minutes long.
that's
Yeah,
yeah.
maybe a
Nope.
few gaming
None.
channels. But then a lot of the channels I
None.
also follow are finance based. So like there are a few women in that space, but not very many.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of gaps to be filled up here. I feel like, cause yeah, like I follow a lot of like video game channels and like usually like ones that are like experts at the video game, so like they give you like the best ways and like how to do like stuff. And a lot of those like are not, yeah, women, like they're dudes.
I honestly just don't
So
think many women want to do finance channels. I get it.
or video game strategy channels.
Yeah.
That's because someone's just like, send me a feet pic, and then it's like, I'll give you $1,000.
I
And
mean,
then
I mean,
so it's like, okay, we don't have to do that anymore.
I'm not trying to brag, but like I've been being called the N word since I was like fucking 8 or 9 on video games. It's a tough world out there. If you're not prepared to have someone make you feel bad on a video game, it's probably not the space for you. Like no one's reining that space in for us to act like women are the only people that get to be like I was hurt. Like brother, come on, come on. Like get real. There's a lot of good plights to make for women. I agree. Video games ain't one of them.
What, that they can't get into the space or whatever?
Yeah, they can't get into space because someone like sets up like a feet pick, like the feet pick thing. Like if that's enough to scare you away, then you're fucked. Do you know how many messages I have from people who just didn't like how I played? Like really assaulting shit. Like, do you understand how often that happens? That's normal. Like you're not
And they don't even know that like he's black. They're just
no.
like you saying that like this is the worst thing I can say to a human being.
Yes, correct. Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry, but you gotta have tough skin out here if you're trying to play fucking multiplayer video games.
Yeah, and most women are just not even willing to bother. There are some who are like
Yeah.
who can like roll with it and like throw it back even harder even, but like for the most part they're not about that. But it's funny, I actually said that because like the feet pics were a way to just like not even have to bother strategizing or like making like finance videos. Like you could just make like shit content like fucking Sniper Wolf and like apparently be carried by simps.
But why would you want that?
No, that is that I mean like that's the pipeline now. I'm sure you've all seen that, right?
Well, that
Yeah.
is a pipeline for some people. I think the majority of women don't want that, but and I am holding out hope that the percentage of that we
Think you
see
don't have a choice.
online, yeah, no, I mean I don't. It doesn't matter to me, but I'm hoping that the percentage of them are at least smart enough to not, because like I'm thinking about everyone who doesn't do content, like those people. If you're in content and you're playing that game, then yeah, obviously you're fucked. I understand that.
Yeah,
I'm not saying a
the
percentage of them is
career.
good. I'm saying yeah, push them to the side. I think there's enough ones outside of that that it's okay.
Isn't that crazy that now that space has become like your career progression? Like it has to end in like being explicit, otherwise like you have a dead end job. Isn't that outrageous?
Yeah.
But that's fine if you make enough money to retire for the rest of your life before you hit
Nope.
that dead
Nope, because
end.
you'll be alone forever.
Hmm.
Sniper Wolf was married.
Yeah,
I
was. You're
mean,
right. Was. Correct.
well,
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 was. You called it.
we don't know why they got divorced though.
But she's It doesn't matter. She's divorced.
So you're saying
And
it's
the
inevitable.
lawsuit is about the fucking company that they started. Yeah, that's inevitable. I think at a certain point it's inevitable. If you have to open your life to a certain extent in order to play the content game, then I feel like at a certain point you have to either draw a very hard line or you're gonna go to the very edges of the earth and be exposed. It's gonna fall apart. That's the only way. Those are the only two options.
Like, yeah, yeah, pretty much, I guess. Like,
I feel
but I
like
mean, maybe it's. I was,
if you're trying to do content like as your career full time, like you have to become a reaction channel because that's what the algorithm like wants. That's the only way that people are watching YouTube. So if you don't do that, then like your channel's gonna die, and now your dream is like now you can't be a YouTuber anymore.
Yeah.
Then what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Become
Oh,
smart?
okay. Yeah, so
yeah.
this is good because it made me think of something. So another channel that I listen to, and this is for pure comedy, but is like it's a reaction video, but it's for movies. So like if I've never seen the movie, like in about 20 to 35 minutes, I can get a very condensed version of it from someone who tells the story in like a semi-comedic way, like some deadpan humor. Like it depends on
Mhm.
what it is. And like basically the channel's called Nerd Explains, and he has this really strange like voice, but he goes through like horror movies mostly, and like explains where people were dumb and like could have survived the instances where they died as the story's going along. He'll pause like every 3 or 4 minutes or so, and then like at the end he'll say where he thought they could have survived and if it was like ultimately beaten or not. Yeah, so those
Yeah,
are
I feel like that'd
hilarious
be
to me.
funny.
Yeah, those are fucking hilarious because all the things he calls out are like all the things you think in horror movies. Like, why would they do that? And sometimes he's thinking about stuff that I would never think about. He's like, why wouldn't you have just locked the door here? I'm just like, holy shit, yeah, you're right. That would have been a much smarter, smarter thing to do.
Yeah, I definitely follow channels that will go through that and do stuff like that. Yeah, I think
See,
that's
that's
fine.
that's a reaction channel. See,
Because,
we
yeah,
should have to redefine reaction channel.
God.
That's
Well,
all.
we still have to have a different category for what
Yeah,
Sniper Wolf is
let's
doing, because
call her
that is
something
not,
else.
that's garbage. That's what that is.
Yeah, that's just one step away from the illicit. So,
God. I mean, so like maybe it's worth it though. Like, even
nope,
if you're alone, if you're a multi-millionaire,
nope,
because then you don't have to work anymore.
nope.
So okay, okay. So like, let's let me ask you. Yeah, this kind of. So like, at what point? So if you were a girl and like obviously single and had no family and no like, and you were like just starting off, like, so you could either like try and get a career
All
or
these qualifiers, just like, how can I make you say yes to this?
like
Yeah, like
this is
what?
like no, I'm trying to like narrow it down to like what like most of the people who are like getting simps for a channel. They're like younger girls, like well usually, yeah, like younger girls who are like
I
who
honestly
I
don't.
assume don't have like any other skills. I mean, maybe they do. I guess you could take that part out of it and they just choose to do this. But like at what point would you just say that like
Some of them do. Some of them that's actually the case.
yeah, that is true.
Like
So at a certain
it's really
point, they
crazy.
felt like it was worth it to not utilize their skill because it was just easier to just like make whatever like low grade content. And like it doesn't even have to be like sexual or anything. Like they can make just like Sniper Wolf stuff. Like she never does anything
No,
sexual.
most of them are sexual at this point.
What? She makes sexual stuff now?
No, not her. I'm not saying she does. I'm just saying like there aren't a lot of sniper wolves out there who aren't exploiting people in some other way. Like only other women like famous YouTubers that you're talking about who are doing like any type of reaction content is not necessarily good content. That space is doesn't have a lot of women in it already, and the few that are in it are not doing like savory things.
Reaction content?
Yeah, I don't know of many women reaction channels.
I would assume they would just, why not like copy the best, the Sniper Wolf or whatever. Like you don't have to do anything sexual. You just have to like be there and just provide a lame reaction. I would assume that like exists.
Uh, I
But
would
like,
like to
yeah, I
believe
guess I've
that.
never watched them for that long to see that it's not sexual.
I would like to believe that there are women who would want better for themselves than that, and that's why they're probably not doing that.
So like, I was gonna ask, how much money would you have to be paid to make it worth it?
No,
None.
no,
But you're not doing anything. Like all you're doing is just like making like YouTube videos, like,
no.
and then you just like don't have to try.
I
But
just
like you're
don't.
not doing anything else.
I just don't want to do that. I don't want that to
Like
be
there's
my.
no
I
amount of
don't.
money
I
that
don't
could
want that to
like
be my career. No. No.
you said no. So there's like, okay, we'll give you $100 billion
I don't give a
for
fuck.
one
I don't
video.
give a fuck. No.
You just be like, nope. All right. Well, that's interesting. I mean, I would do it for like way less than 100 billion, that's for sure. But I also wouldn't want to like spend all my time doing that or like
Wait,
make
why?
that
Wait,
my.
wait. The question is one video now. So not what we're actually talking about. Not making it like what you do.
Well, I first started with how much, but then the answer wasn't even a number. You just said
No.
no.
Yeah. No. Well, the answer's
So I was
still not
like,
a
okay,
number, but.
let me like throw the highest number like out there and just see if your answer would change, which it didn't. So like, so
So now you're
yeah,
saying
like
just one video. I just want to make sure I understood the question.
I mean, the original question was just like, yeah, how much would it take for you to like, yeah, go down that career path for like even just like a few years?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely not.
So does the one video change it?
I mean slightly, but I don't. I wouldn't see the point in going like. What would that scenario just sounds so strange. Like obviously this whole thing is made up, but I can't even imagine a world where someone would pay me a substantial amount of money to make a video that I'm just sitting there in and making funny faces. Like that just seems strange.
Like you don't even have to make funny faces. You just have to be in the video. Like you just have to conduct the video for like 20 minutes and then like you're done. Like they just contract you for one video.
Yeah, okay. I don't. Yeah, I guess that's not a career, so sure, maybe depending on what was the video was about. Then yeah, I guess I'd consider that.
For how much? $50?
Well, like if the video's on something I don't care about, then yeah, I guess $50. But if the video is making me do
Damn.
something I don't want to do, then yeah, a lot more than that. Like yeah, if someone offered me $50 right now, no, I would not take it for. But the version that you painted,
Right. It was like back then.
where I'm like destitute, you're like, yeah, I have no money, no family, no job, no nothing,
Yeah. You're
no
like freshman
prospects.
in college broke.
Oh no, that's not. No, I can figure it out as a freshman. No,
So, okay, what if it was like $10,000?
again,
And like all you had to do was just like watch a Rocket League video and then just like maybe like put your critique in on like actually
oh,
no, that's already too
sure,
much.
like
Just watch a
yeah,
Rocket League video and be
yeah,
like, "Oh, that was cool."
yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so there is a point where you would do it. But
For
like you
for
just don't
one,
want to.
no, for one video, yeah. In any other scenario than one video, the answer is no.
So for two videos for fifty thousand
No,
dollars, you
no,
wouldn't do it? That's
more
already
than
too much.
no, more than one. I'm not doing it. We're not like now because now
Why
again
though?
because I don't want to do that. I didn't want to do it to begin with. The only reason that I am doing it in the first place is because I have a very clear end date. I only have to be in this state one time in this terrible state that you're putting me in for the money. Then I'm done with you. I don't want to do it more than once.
So okay, actually, you've actually made YouTube videos and stuff. Like,
Yeah, about stuff
how come you
I
wanted to
wanted to
do
do.
that?
Because I actually wanted, I cared about the thing I was talking about.
That's true. So what if you were just like insanely hot and a girl? Like,
I don't want that.
so now you don't want to make the video?
If I'm talking about something I care about, but that's not what you described when you gave me the scenario. You said
Right, yeah,
you said
right.
you're gonna
We're
be sitting
changing
there
it.
and not doing anything. Like so, no, I don't want to do that. No,
So
I
if
wouldn't
it's
do that
something that you'd
now.
want to do, But like, what if?
If I want to
So would
talk
you?
if I want to talk about it, none of the content that I produced was 30 seconds of me making fucking expressions.
So what if you got very popular and you were this super hot girl doing the videos you like doing,
Okay.
and it became pretty clear that like most of the guys were like simps. Like, would you
What
continue
I
doing it and be like,
I
whatever, like I'll take your money, take your subscriptions, and keep doing the stuff I like? Or would you just be like, I don't
I
want to do this?
yeah, I don't again, like I think there would be places this scenario again where you've just driven me past all the logical reasons I would be considering before making this a career. You're just like, yeah, you got here because you were stupid, I guess, and now what are you gonna do about it? Like, well, I wouldn't have
No,
been there
it's
in the
like
first place.
no, the scenario is the exact same scenario of your life where you made videos. Well, I guess you were
Yeah,
like in a relationship. So like
yeah.
honestly, does that even matter if you're in a relationship? Like, I don't know. But like so you were making videos you like, but the only difference between your real life scenario and the new scenario is that you're like the hottest girl ever.
Again, no content that I would be doing as a female or a male would ever give anyone any hint into as to like what my body is other than my face. So if you're finding my face really hot, okay, I guess like I can't.
Yeah,
I'm
that's really
that's
all it
just because
is.
that's how I normally be walking around anyway. But the people who are
Yeah,
in that
yep.
content game are not face streamers. That's not what's
There
happening.
totally is.
That's not what's happening. That any
There's
that
totally face
who
streamers there.
Okay, not like that they only show their face. I'm saying like that's all they have to offer.
I've seen that. I've definitely seen that on Twitch. Like if you browse by most popular channels, like there's for sure girls who are just like dressed completely fine, but like
No. I don't. No, not
but
dressed
like
completely fine.
they
No,
just have like a good face and like they're like top channel.
no, you don't understand. Like I'm saying, you would never see like below my. You hardly
Yeah,
ever see
that's fine.
below here. Like what do you mean dressed very well? How could you tell if they were dressed well if you only saw here?
That's that's not gonna stop Simps. Like Simps will be like, yep, that's plenty. Jesus Christ, you really do not. Okay,
What?
well, like
No, I'm
if
talking.
you were
I'm
a
talking.
hot girl, that
No,
is
no,
what would happen.
no.
If you show
I'm
your
not
face
talking
like
about
that,
what's. I'm not talking about what other people would like. I was talking about what you said. You said you saw women who all they had to offer was their face, and they were dressed perfectly fine. I'm saying the scenario you're putting me in. How would you even know how I was dressed? Like, how did you know how they were dressed unless you saw the rest of them?
I mean, I could see their shirt, just like how you can see me now. Like I could see their shirt or something. And like even in your
Okay.
videos, you could
Yeah.
see like your shoulders up, so you could see that
Sure.
you had a shirt, or you would know if you were in a suit or a
Yeah.
t-shirt or a hoodie.
Yeah. If
So
I
like
was
that's like
Yeah, so to answer
okay,
your
you know how
question,
they're dressed.
if I was a hot girl, if I knew that about myself, I probably wouldn't get into the content game because I probably just wouldn't want that to be it. Like that's not what I would do.
And I mean, that's fine. Like I totally respect that, but like I feel like that's kind of devastating
Why is
because
that
like
devastating?
now you can't do what you wanted to do. Like just because you're a
Uh,
hot girl,
what is
like now
why is that
you're
what?
like
But I
not
don't
even
want to
worth
do.
making YouTube
No, but
videos.
I don't want to do that. Like that, you're saying, well,
You don't want to what?
I don't want to make the videos because like that, and
But
that's
you
part of
did
it.
in real life because you wanted to.
No,
Or
and
did you not want to make them in real life?
No, I'm saying my desire to make YouTube videos, part of that consideration is being male and not thinking that that's what people are watching me for. If I was a woman, I probably wouldn't even gone to make a YouTube channel. That's not how I would have probably gone about like something I would have done. I would definitely not do that if I was a woman.
Wait, why?
I just said like 'cause I don't think content would be something that I'd be considering if I was a woman.
Yeah, and I'm asking why is that?
I don't. I thought I just told you because I wouldn't want that to be part of the consideration. Like that idea of like you said like well they're just simps and they like my face. Like I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't want that to even be part of the discussion.
Damn. So like just because you're born hot now like yeah, that essentially means you just would never consider making videos just because of the possibility
That
that people are
yeah,
gonna
but
like find it too hard.
I mean that's true of everything. Like there's lots of things I'm sure that you could find in your life that because of your certain set of circumstances you would do that you probably wouldn't do under any other circumstance. I don't know why gender is like this thing where we're just like, oh, it's a boogeyman if you don't do it because of this, but you do because of this. Our whole lives are set up that way.
I mean, it's not just gender. Like, you can be a girl and not get simped on. But if you were like
Yeah, you could.
super fucking hot, like, I'm pretty sure like there's just nothing you could do. Like, people are gonna be like saying like shit that is just like not even related to like what you're talking about. Like,
Yeah, and that's
that
just a
that all the
and
time.
that's your reality if you go down that road. And that's part of why I wouldn't want to go down that road.
Yeah, and I'm acknowledging that, and I think that's kind of sad because like just because you're
Oh,
really
sure.
hot, now you can't like be public facing in like those kinds of ways
I
because like
I
you're
agree.
gonna feel like getting harassed is just not worth it.
I
Like,
I agree. I don't know that it's the like great the great tragic loss that I think that you're describing it as. Like sad, sure. I think there's lots of things in the world that are like that though. Like, and if I felt the travesty that seems to be like how you seem to feel about it, about everything that exists like that, I would just spend most of my day upset about everything. Like at some point we just have to realize things are how they are. Like there's some just social aspects about humans that are going to make things uncomfortable.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that like happens often, like to anyone. Like, I never get really like like harassed for anything that I do. But like, yeah, you definitely would like in
You don't
that
feel like you've ever been
situation.
mistreated?
Like, that's pretty rare. Yeah, that's like very
Oh,
rare that that happens.
oh, okay. Well, that's great. I'm happy
Maybe
for
that's a
you.
bias in itself, possibly.
Maybe, and I'm
But I mean,
sure the
it worked
bias
out for
works.
me,
I mean,
so.
the bias works both ways. So I'm sure I have a bias. Well, no, I kind of been like that all my life, but I probably sure didn't help. Like I'm sure I've had life experience where I felt wronged. So I'm sure that does not help the bias in any way. Yeah, I've always sort of thought that way of like, because I don't know, I just feel I'd rather focus on the things that are like generally good and in my control anyway. Like, why if people are always going to do that? Like, I'm a woman. What am I going to do? Like, yeah, either you're going to say I'm just going to deal with that part of life and go through it, or don't do it. Because if you try to go in the middle and you try to have both, like you try to go down that road and try to fight that, like you're always going to be in this like steady state, I feel like, of just questioning whether you are this popular person because of this thing you're fighting, or and is that like always your plight? Like at what point do you feel like you've succeeded? If you're popular, or is that also a sign of the thing that you're fighting against? It's just a perpetual thing where you're always upset. Like I just don't understand how anyone if that not you but like people who are very like big on those kind of plights. I just don't understand what the resolution is. What is the end goal? Because I don't think any version of the world that they could describe ever describes a like a social interaction where they're totally happy.
Well, like in the simp one, like it seems pretty easy. Like it would be nice if like a super hot girl could do something and not have like if they could be like doing the news or something, and if you're too hot, some guy is gonna be like, show us your tits. Like it has nothing to do with the
On the
video
news?
whatsoever. Yeah, like for sure. Like
Wait,
that
what?
they will for sure
Oh,
comment that in the
like on a
videos.
YouTube? Oh, like on a YouTube video?
Yeah, like
Oh, okay. I
anything
thought
that
you were
has
like
any
live news. I
way.
was like, wait a second.
I mean, if there was a crowd, there would probably be a guy that eventually yelled that, like if it was just
Uh-huh.
in an open public crowd. And that's
Yeah.
just like the reality of life, like unfortunately. But like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that is.
in a good, in an ideal situation, it would just be nice if like random dudes didn't like do that. Like
Yeah,
if
and
she's
that's
not like
I think that's a
trying to
ridiculous expectation. A certain percent of us just have to not like have to deviate from what you consider the norm. Like if everyone acted, what you're describing is just groupthink. Like
I have never seen a girl type in "show us your dick" to like anyone like on a YouTube channel.
yeah,
Like I just never seen that.
men and women are different.
Yeah, so like why are there no anomalies on that side? Like they're all on the guy's side and there's like quite a bit of them.
I don't think there's
Like
none. I think there's just probably far less. And why?
like far less.
Probably just because we're very different. Like I was like when we you and I talked about a long time ago, we were arguing about how like men and women in the pay thing. One of the things I said in that is just men and women are very different. And it's like you said in that conversation, you said you didn't feel like that the differences were that vast, like other than just physically, biologically. I think there's enough evidence in the world to show that we are vastly different, and that's a part of that's very like a part of it. Like you said, I think men are generally more aggressive. I think there's a lot to do that might be physiology, might just be society, but yeah, like we're just not the same. So that unfortunately comes with the reality of you having different plights than other people because of your characteristics. That's just
Yeah, I
that's
feel
just
like
that's what it is.
I just refuse to accept that that's just like the end. Like that's like, yep, that's it. That's how it is. No need to change that. Like no, just accept it and like that's how it can be forever. Like I just refuse to like think of it in that way. I just feel like that's a problem and it's like relatively easily fixed in my opinion.
It's
Like
only
all
easily
you have to
fixed.
do is not say show us your tits. Like that's it. Like
It's only
that's not
easy.
that hard.
It's only easily fixable to you because you already don't engage in that behavior. So like,
Right.
yeah,
So
that
like
seems
I'm
normal
a
to you.
guy. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
like
not saying all guys.
most guys don't even do that actually. Like most guys
Yeah.
don't do that. Like,
So
but it's enough where it's like almost guaranteed to
well,
happen.
well, wait a second. If most guys don't do it, then how is it really the problem that we're saying that it is? Are 20%, like how much what's the percentage you think that is doing this? Like
I mean, I
30%,
don't know, man.
40%?
Maybe like that's what it feels like. Maybe like between 25, 35-ish.
Okay, so 20 to 35% of the men are ruining it for all the women? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. In this situation,
for
pretty
all
much,
of
yeah.
them. So all the women are all dating the same 25 to 35% of the men,
No, it's not
or
that they're dating. The problem,
all interacting with them.
yeah, because like if you're public facing, like you're gonna interact with essentially 100% of the general population. So like, and if you have 25% of them literally being super obnoxious and like over like saying shit that's like overpowering the rest of
Huh?
people, which like is definitely possible and we see it done all the time, then like yeah, that's gonna ruin it.
So
Like
how do
we
you
need to
fix
get a
that
hold of this 25% that's just wild.
and do what with them?
I don't know, change them somehow. Like make it so they don't say "show us your tits" to someone who's casting the news.
I
Like,
feel like I feel like what you're describing, because you agree with it so much, it seems like you're okay with it. Like it, that's not a world in which we can like live normally. Where if you have opinions that are offensive to other people, that you have to get captured and changed. Like that is a crazy world.
no, I'm definitely not saying people are getting captured, but like you can change people through like other ways. Like
Like
if
what?
like one of you guys, like if I like was like walking down like the street and one of you guys, and there's this little lady who's like a business lady, and like she like literally talked to us about something completely not sexual in any way, and then
Mhm.
like one of you turned around and said, "Show us your tits," I'd be like,
Mhm.
okay, that's like that's like
You
insane. Like
you think
you
that's
shouldn't, you probably shouldn't do that. Like that's like yeah, that's like
you
harassment in
you
my
think
opinion.
do you think if you say that to a random person on the street that you saying, "Hey, don't say that," is going to change them from saying it?
No, I said you guys. So like yeah, I have no sway on a random person in the street, but like
You
I have
think
sway with my friends.
you think you would be friends with one of us if we were saying that and you knew it?
No, but someone is friends with these 25%.
Right, and
I'm
and
assuming.
they're okay with it.
I don't know. Are they? I usually
Yeah,
honestly
if
like
they're
when I've had
condoning
to
it
be
in their
around
life,
those types
then
of
yeah, I
guys.
think so.
Like I would just it was always in a situation where like there was more of them than there was of me. So I would just like sit in the background and be like, this is honestly cringeworthy. Like I don't want to be
So you had
here.
the opportunity to say something you didn't.
No, I was outnumbered and I didn't even want to like get what was coming to me. But like yeah, like why how am I outnumbered? But it was in the construction industry. That's literally like the worst industry as far as like that type of thing. Like that is like the textbook worst industry for that type of thing. Like that's literally like construction worker whistling at girls walking down the street. Like that's been happening for like so long. It's like ingrained in them. But like yeah, I didn't. If there was like at least like half of people that were like me, then like I would have been much more willing to say something. But in that situation, I was like so outnumbered. It'd be like going to a
So,
KKK rally and be like, you know what? Maybe we should not do this.
so see, this is what I have a hard time with your opinion on this about because on this one because
I mean,
like
it's a losing battle.
yeah, yeah, but you're making it a losing battle. Like you have like you,
In what
because
way do I win?
well, if all of the people who, like you said, if all the people think like you, if they're ever in scenarios where they are the only one and they have the choice to either stand up for that premise or not,
Oh, hell
they
no.
just
I'm
don't
not
do
saying
it.
shit.
So you all are never going to change the people who are in the 20 to 35% because you're not even going into crowds of them where they are. Like they're not hanging out with people like you. They're staying probably in the 25 to 35% with other people like them. How are you going to
That is
change them?
true.
You're not willing to go in there, but like you want them to change? How? How are you going to do that?
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna hang out with these guys. Like,
So
there's
like
no fucking way.
so you
Like,
don't really care about it then. Can we like you can't care about it but not be willing to do anything about it. That makes no sense.
I mean,
It's
like,
okay to not care about it. I don't either. But like I just would like to be honest about the fact we don't care about it.
how did they get it? Like with the Me Too movement, where like it wasn't cool for like your boss to slap you on the ass anymore. Like that's like that may like I don't think anyone started becoming friends with those types of guys, but like somehow, I mean, like that became literally illegal. So like they literally had to start changing things. Otherwise, you could then easily, as a woman, say like, "Hey, I was being sexual harassed. Like, don't do that." And so like now, I guess those types of guys are taking it more seriously. But like just like saying like just like saying disrespectful things to someone isn't like illegal or anything. So they have no
Yeah.
pressure like legally to change where they did in the Me Too movement.
All right.
But like yeah, I don't know. I guess is that the only way then to make it illegal to say that type of thing to someone? And then maybe they'll start not doing it as much. Like I
E-
feel like that's like going a bit far, maybe, but maybe if it gets bad enough, I would be somewhat open to it. But yeah, that's how it
How
was changed. Like no one
how could
became friends
comments
with like
how could comments online get that bad?
like
Well, specifically
they
specifically sexual ones. Like you don't have to, like you said, you don't have to be online. But it's a weird thing to me to expect us to be able to censor the internet. Like that. That's just I don't understand how you can reasonably do that and then still call it the internet.
Yeah, I don't think it should be censored. I think society itself has to change. Or
Yeah,
at
but
least that 25 to 30%.
yeah, but no one who thinks like you do either also wants to do anything to change those people. It's just so
Yeah, they're
frustrating.
like, no,
I
I'm not
just
gonna
it's just
fucking
so
hang around
fucking
these guys.
like it's just so fucking frustrating to hear that. Like it's just like yes, this is so terrible. It needs to change, but I'm not gonna do it. Like, well, what? What the
Oh
fuck?
no.
Why should I care about it then?
Yeah, I guess like that's a good point. So like who's friends with these people? They're all just friends with each other and then they go online and just say that shit or
Probably,
say it in public.
but
That
there
makes sense.
well, there's
Yeah,
probably
I
people
have no
in the
idea
middle
how
too,
you would change that.
like you were saying. There's probably people in the middle too who are okay with it and like might be okay with just being friends with someone like that. But to the point that you made of not wanting to get in the way or have an issue about it, they probably just ignore that part of the person, of the guy.
Like in my situation, like it was at work and like I was the newest person on the job. Like if I were to try and like disrupt the culture, it's over. Like I might as well just quit. Like right then
Yeah.
and there. Like so it's just like it's not worth it to me to try and save society when I literally have to pay rent. Like
Right. So
so
you're
like
saying
I
it's
can't be that soldier like
so it's
in
okay.
that
So
moment.
you're saying it's okay then to be selfish. It's okay to think of yourself when because like you said, everyone's got to pay
Yeah.
rent.
Yeah, you have to pay rent. Like you can't change society if you're homeless. Well, I mean, I guess with enough homeless people you could, but I think you have a better chance if you all have a home first.
uh,
So yeah, make sure you can pay rent and then with your extra time try and change society. But I mean like who has yeah, again, who's going to infiltrate that group?
I don't know. No one probably.
Yeah, you would have to make it illegal. That's how you would do it.
Yeah, and that's I don't know if that's a world I don't know if that's a world that I could live in or a
Yeah,
place that I could live.
that is pushing it cuz it's still just words.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's tough. I could not stay here if that was happening.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
What a world.
Well, I feel like that's
Yeah.
pretty interesting. Do you have any thoughts on that, Guda? Do you think it's devastating that you can't be too hot and public facing at the same time without getting sexualized?
Do you really mean devastating? Do
I
do
think
you really
it's
mean
I
that
think
I
word?
it's
mean, like, it's
unfortunate,
not
but
devastating, but if it was your life's dream to be a public facing like figure in some way, and then you tried it and wanted to be respected for what you were doing, but instead like somehow became a sexual icon, like, and you're like, no, like this is not what I'm trying to do. I would feel like, yeah, I would feel like disrespected and being like, why, why aren't I being respected? Yeah, I would feel like that's devastating if it was your life's dream. But if it's not your life's dream, then like, no, it's not devastating.
Yeah. I think that's a small percentage of the people. I would think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's not everyone's life dream, but everyone who does have a life dream of doing that and just so happens to be like totally simped
So
after, then
we need to change
that would
20
suck for them.
25 to 35% of the population for the people who are women who have the dream of being publicly facing content creators.
Yeah, I feel like there might be like 25% of them actually. Because like when you graduate high school, like I would say like 85% of
You
high
think
school
20
graduates
you think 25%
are
of
like,
the
you know
women
what? I can be a content creator.
you think 25% of the women who graduate want to be content creators?
Probably over that, yeah.
Oh shit. Well,
Until they like obviously learn reality and then you start changing your mind. But like, yeah, like yeah, everyone thinks they can be a content creator until they actually try it. And you can't really try it until you're like basically 18.
all right. Interesting. All right, sorry, go ahead, Guna.
um yeah, I'd say it's unfortunate that it's that way, but I think if that's like what you want to do, I think you have to be smart enough to realize like, yeah, that's part of it. So if you don't want it, like John said, then yeah, don't do it.
Yeah. It comes with it. It's a part
Yeah,
of it.
that's just part. Yeah, it's part of the
Right.
like.
Just
Yeah,
like dealing with like data, like if that was my live stream, part of that is dealing with like people and systems that should like that function in a way that don't make a lot of sense sometimes. Now, should I have to deal with that? No. Like why do I have to deal with other people's stupidity to do my job? Because it's a
hmm
part of the job.
I mean, like, that's different though,
Why
because
why?
like,
Why is it different?
because you're a guy, so like, there's no one saying
Why
it's
is
not
it
like you're
why
doing
is
your
the
job
heart
at the end of the
why
day, and
why is
then
the
like
hardship
your
different?
customer or whoever you're working for is just like, ha, whatever, show us your tits. Like,
Okay,
it's just like that's different
why is the wording, why is the words more impactful or worse because they're sexual?
because I mean, really, it's just the fact that they're just disregarding you and what you
Yeah,
are doing for your job
yeah.
and just like throwing in something completely unrelated that like you literally have basically nothing to do with and like you're just stuck with that, like you did nothing to deserve
You
this,
literally
but
just
like
described like a normal day at work. Like that's
but
literally what happens.
the
The only
difference
difference is
is
that
you
you're
can
saying
be
it's
a
sexual and it's
guy and
worse.
do the same thing and it won't happen, but like if you're a
Why
girl
is
and you
that
do the
worse?
same thing it would. Why is that worse? I mean, like obviously that's worse.
No, it's not any worse than having to deal with any other thing where you're unfairly treated because of your set of circumstances. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying literally everyone has that, whether you realize it or not. Sometimes you have a set of circumstances where you're treated differently and slightly worse, or maybe very largely worse than someone in a very similar set of circumstances. That happens to most people. That is just a reality. Like I don't understand why we are why this one is specifically worse.
Yeah, like you could be at work and then be like, "Oh, I need to like take the day off so I can go to the ultrasound." And then your boss is like, "What the fuck? That's your wife is going. What do you need to go there for?" Like you're being disrespected. Like
Yeah.
you're
That's
like
true.
less
And that
of a
literally,
parent.
and that's literally at most companies, you get less time for paternity than you do for maternity. Even though when most women are like, in terms of physically recovered, could go work. So it's just it's crazy that like this is like for some reason when it's like sexual against women, then it's like significantly worse, even though we're talking about, again, like, it's words. I'm not saying that it's good, but I'm saying, like, I don't know if it's worth changing society over. Like, that just seems drastic. Because how many things are you going to normalize across that? Like, every time someone is wronged in a way they can't change, are you going to change society too? Like, that's a lot of work, and you weren't even willing to do the work to change the one.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would say both of those things are bad, that men like get judged for going to an ultrasound and that like women have the problems they do. And like, yeah, I don't see why a lot of that stuff can't get changed. Like, it seems pretty easy. Like, I don't see why society couldn't function perfectly with with men being able to go to their ultrasound and women who are like really good looking to be able to be public facing without getting sexualized. I don't see how
It
that
could.
would cause any sort of collapse or problems. And it just seems like pretty easy to me, like a pretty easy fix on both sides really. But
Yeah,
yeah.
because I don't feel
I
like
don't
you're. I
yeah.
don't feel like you're considering what it would take to get there. I think you're just considering what society would look like after it's happened. I understand that. I
Yeah,
agree.
I'm literally asking what it would take to get there. That
Yeah,
is the
a lot of
question.
things that would probably have to violate people's rights in a way that would probably not make you feel comfortable in the country that you're in. That's the only way some of those things are going to change.
You think so? You
In
don't
my
think
opinion, yeah, for sure.
you don't think one day like it'll just not be cool to like sexually harass people?
I don't think it's cool now to sexually harass people. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Like,
Well,
what?
yeah, you don't, but like obviously these 25 to 30% between each other, they think it's cool and like funny and like that's why they do it. But like I think it's definitely possible that like one day like those people will all like get old and die and maybe like the younger generations will like not really like do that as much. Like I think
Sure.
we've definitely gotten less racist as the generations have gone on. Like it's
Okay.
still there, but it's definitely gotten better. So I don't see why the same
I
thing couldn't happen with like those types of things.
like I said earlier, I think it'll always be perceived as less, but I think there will all because again, I think it's just a circular reasoning. The way like people who worry about problems like this that are necessarily unsolvable think is there almost always is another thing that we haven't normalized yet. There's always going to be another thing that is racist in some way. Always. That's why I
So
don't
then
think
your
it'll ever
solution
change.
to that is to fix nothing?
No, I'm not saying you shouldn't. It's not worthwhile. I just think if it's worthwhile to you, that you would try and change it. If you're just an activist and that's what you're doing, all right, cool. I don't know that it's ever going to get to where you want it to be, but if you feel like that's improvement and you feel like that's your contribution to society, makes perfect sense to me. What doesn't make sense to me is being
That's
upset
fair.
about it on the sidelines. I don't get that part about it. Like you're spending energy taking away from your actual life that you've already clearly determined is more important than the cause, and you're taking time to that to think about it. Like, what's the weird connection? Like, just you said your life's more important. That's why you don't want to do it. So spend the time on your life,
Yeah, you're like, shut up and do something about
dude.
it.
For real. Like, otherwise, it's just not worth the energy. It's not worth the headache.
Huh, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, I could see that. But I feel like Discord is the first step to be coming up with a plan of doing something about it. Like it's hard to just
Sure,
immediately just jump to action without I've ever talked about it with anyone first.
sure. I guess so.
But yeah, I mean, also like just like being loud on like social media about something and never like posting a black square on Instagram, like that shit's not gonna do anything. Like
Yeah. And I
yeah,
used to
like
think that that was helpful. Like I did that when that was a thing. And then like after enough
you
thought,
did.
yeah, for sure. And after enough thought, like I was just like, what is all this even accomplishing? Like absolutely nothing. I don't actually care about this.
Yeah, not enough to
Not
actually go
enough
out
to
and
do
protest.
anything. So why the fuck am I shut the fuck up? And so I shut the fuck up.
Yeah, yeah,
I haven't
that
posted
makes
anything
sense.
close about any of the. Again, not that I don't care about them. It's unfortunate again, but clearly not enough for me to care.
I feel like yeah, that's
It is what it is.
that's that's progress.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't want to take away from anyone who actually does want to like be an activist. I think that's good. I think we do need people who actually want to make changes in those types of positions. That makes perfect sense to me. People who aren't there for just the clout. So yeah, if you actually want to do that, then assuming you understand everything that comes with it, definitely fucking go for it because we need people who are willing to do hard work to do those types of things. But if you're hanging out with me, you probably aren't trying to do anything. So it's cool, man. We'll just watch. We'll see what happens, and we'll act accordingly.
Just be sitting in the sidelines in your cozy bunker
Chilling,
a million miles away.
chilling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
I do.
go-to.
I think those are the two options. You either do enough to change what you think is coming, or prepare for what's coming.
Or just straight up prepare, yeah. Yeah,
That's it.
yeah. It's logical.
I don't know. Hopefully, not everyone. Like the world obviously cannot sustain itself if everyone thought like me. So I'm glad that not everyone thinks in that way, because we would have a really, we'd have a hard time, man.
Yeah, I feel like that's what always confuses me. Like,
Oh,
because like
I
the way
realize
you
it.
do things, like if everyone was like that, like nothing would happen. Like things would not go well.
You're right.
But like it works for you. It really does.
It
Like it's
does.
perfectly sound logic for you. But I'm just like that's why I'm always asking, like, how are you
Well,
how are you like
I
this?
do things for other people elsewhere. Like I am more concerned with like what I can physically do. It's just I don't like talking about the very large societal things because I think a lot of those things are really just too complicated to unpack for you and I. Like if we're just being real, there's just too many factors at play. So I would rather help in the small ways that can help and try to like hopefully impress upon other people to do that so that maybe I can have a radiating effect than just sit and eventually like never get to a solution about all the problems while when I wasted all that time and I could have done something. So yeah, like I definitely am selfish, but part of my selfishness I feel like comes from a place where I think I can do a better job with resources than I can just sitting around talking about it.
Yeah, that
I disagree there. I think talking about it definitely helps because if I can get someone to consider a different idea, I think that makes progress. Because to your point earlier, if everyone just thought
Sure.
the same thing, then we would be fucked. So,
Definitely. No, I agree with that. I do. I'm not that person who feels like it's worth it to go through those things. Like I think the conversation's worth it for sure, but I'm not prepared to go through what it would take to get to that point. Like
hmm.
I don't want to do it.
I think maybe the hope is that like if the conversation spreads enough, it'll land on that person who is willing to do something and then they are able to make a change. But yeah, if there's no conversation, then like that just probably would never happen,
Sure.
I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, definitely.
So, all
Uh,
right. Enough of that. I got like one little bonus question for you guys. A little bit a little bit of a funner tone. What's the worst piece of technology you guys have ever owned? I feel like for me, it was like the Mad Catz controller. Like you would buy a brand new N64 controller, but it was made by this brand Mad Catz, and like you plug it in and it was already broken. Like that was
Hmm.
like half the Mad Catz controllers that you would buy. Like it all the controller stick was already broken. Like, but they're at like every store, maybe not every store, but like they're at Best Buy and GameStop. And like if you didn't want to pay for like the Nintendo brand controller, that was it. Like
yeah.
and I'd have to say my second if you guys do you have any? Otherwise I do have a second worst.
I don't have one yet.
The very first thing I thought of was the Game Shark. I don't know why,
A
but
Game Shark.
the
Yeah.
only reason why is because I remember it being broken and all the things I had to do to get it to like work again. So yeah, it's funny that it was also a video game thing. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
the very first thing I thought of.
A Game Shark is like one of those. It's like you plug this cartridge in your N64, and then it has like a adapter on the top of that cartridge, and
Hmm.
then like your game goes on top of that thing. And what it lets you do is like let you like hack your games essentially. But
Yeah, and this
like
was like a
again,
device from like 1998 for like the Nintendo 64.
yeah.
So yeah.
And again, it's like it basically just didn't work. Like it would say it would work, and like 80% of the codes in that thing just would never work, and like
It would
half the
work for
time it
like
wouldn't even boot up the game.
yeah, it would work for like the first week, and then like after that, it was just hit or miss. Like all of a sudden, you would try it one day and it would turn on and be like, "Oh shit! Like it's working again? That's wild!" And then it
Yeah,
would stop working for like a month, and then you'd come back and it'd be like, "Oh, it's working again," for no rhyme or reason, none.
it's not plugged into the internet, so it's not like they're detecting it's a Game Shark or anything. Like, yeah, I remember we would literally throw our Game Sharks against the wall, and like
Yep.
after you do it like a certain amount of times, it might work again for like a couple minutes. And like, what
Yeah,
is that? What kind of technology? Like, can an expert please explain this? Like,
there was
why would
obviously
that work?
something wrong. Like some connector on that board was just so flimsy. Yeah, just yeah, what a joke. But hey, at least I only bought it once.
My
They've definitely
second,
been.
I was gonna say my second worst piece of technology was the E-Machines computer. Like it came with viruses preloaded on it, like or whatever.
That
Like
bloatware.
yeah, like there'd be so many advertisements and like stuff that like it would take like 20 minutes to boot up, like fresh out of the box, like and like you
Mhm.
could like it was like super hard to like uninstall all of them. And then on top of that, the computer itself would just die after like a year basically because it was just already so overloaded with anything that if you tried to install any of your own stuff, it was just over. And like that was a brand new device. It was just terrible.
I think that was just at a strange time in the progression of computers.
Yeah, it seems that all the products we're mentioning were like 90s products,
Yeah.
maybe early 2000s products.
I think a lot of people had ideas that were like too powerful for the equipment that we had at the time. The second one I would say is a recent one, and it would be the Fire TV stick.
Oh,
I can't
yes.
even tell you how many times I've had to like rebuy that thing. And
It's
I
so
guess
bad.
luckily that it's like usually like less than 20 bucks if you're getting like the absolute super base like light version, but holy
It's so
shit.
bad. It's like
Like
fresh out of the box.
every 6 months that thing is like dead or about to die, and I have to do something
Every
to
6
revive
months.
it.
Like that's such a waste of like material and stuff to send out like electronics to someone every
Yeah.
6 months because that's how bad it is. Yeah, I
And
bought a
the
Fire
only
Stick.
re
I
sorry.
was gonna say I bought a Fire Stick when Reina was born, and like for her TV, and like fresh out of the box, it was just like super slow and laggy. I was like, I can't. I threw it away. I'm pretty sure like after
Yeah,
like a
dude.
month.
This, yeah, they're obviously designed like that because they just give them away like candy every like quarter or so. But the only reason I buy it is because that's the only thing that has like the Twitch app on it, like the smart TV app.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like I'm trapped. Like they figured it out. They got me.
God, just for the Twitch app, like who would have thought?
Yeah, man.
So you
So
can't
yeah.
think you've never had any piece of shit technology you can think of, John?
uh, yeah, I'm having a hard time thinking of one. I think I probably had some headphones that weren't great, but like not that I continue to deal with. Like like the way you guys are describing it is like you had it and then you just kept it.
It was
When
just
technology doesn't provide its necessary function, it leaves immediately. Like
it's
I
like
don't
I
keep
it's not in my life.
yeah, like I just dispose of it instantly. So no, yeah, I don't have many of those, and when I do, like they're so short that I don't even remember them, or I just stop using them because like I don't like
Like
dealing
what
with
was your first
dysfunction.
cell phone?
It was like one of those probably like ne- Nextel or Nokia or I don't
Did you
know.
Rick?
think that thing worked good?
Yeah, for the
If it was a
time.
Nokia, it probably worked pretty good.
I mean, yeah, for the time, yeah, it did everything it was supposed to do. So yeah. I mean,
Did
like
it have
compared to today, it's probably shit, but
Snake?
yeah, one of my phones did.
Snake.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure one of my phones did.
Yeah, I had a Palm Pilot.
Hmm.
Did either of you ever have a CD player? Like a portable CD player?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And that they never like just shit out on you? Mine
it
always
was
did.
pretty bad.
Not
Yeah, it would skip a lot,
were you all
and
like walking around with it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. I mean,
Like,
it
why would you
wasn't.
do that?
It wasn't
Why
made.
would you make it portable?
Yeah, it wasn't. It
Yeah, it says
wasn't.
it's portable.
No,
Exactly.
no.
Why'd you put batteries in this fucking
I
thing?
always knew that the CD player was not portable in the way that like you could be moving quickly with it. Like they mean portable like the way you transfer a plate from the kitchen to the table.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
that's what they meant.
I'd be like trying to walk to school with it and
Like
stuff.
No,
just
they
if you
tricked
just
me.
look inside the fucking flap, like if the CD moves at all, it's literally touching one of the edges. Like you,
Yeah.
that's so I literally before anyone even said it, I was always afraid. I was always holding it like this because I thought I was just scratching the fuck out of this, and people probably were when they were just
That's
fucking
what I
running.
was doing. I could hear it
Yeah.
like
Oh.
scraping.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
And
yeah.
yeah, yeah, and you're instead of like
Yeah.
wondering, oh no, I've ruined this. You're like, man, fuck
No,
this thing. It doesn't
everyone
work.
everyone was in on it together. When you get that fucking Jansport backpack, there'd be a CD like slot in it, like with the
Yes.
like symbol, like the icon in it and everything. Be like, yeah, but
Yeah, you're
put it
supposed to
in
put your
here and like
CD player in there.
string
Yep.
your headphones through.
Shit.
You'll be a tech, whatever the fuck, a millennial man,
Oh
Yeah, yeah.
wow,
a millennial kid.
That's completely
that's
right. They
crazy.
sure did. I actually the CD player I had was made for walking around. Like I remember like that was like the thing about it. Like it was like made for like I don't know if it said running or jogging, but it was like made to be like be able you can tip it upside down, move it around and like you can still do it. But like it still didn't like quite work.
It like
Like
had that anti-skip technology.
yeah, like somehow where they can like keep it like
So
straight, not touching anything,
what were
like
you
better
all
than the
doing
other
with these
one.
CD players? Like you're putting headphones on and then running like full speed? What is happening?
Yeah, I'd be
Yeah,
like power walking hard to school, like
same,
professional power
exactly.
walking.
Yep.
Fucking
Like
hell.
it is not a gentle stroll. Maybe even like riding my bike. I feel like that's better than power walking though. Like, but
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
one of the two.
No, I'd literally be late and I'd be running.
You said I'd be late, I'd be running. That's hilarious, man. Oh
Not late
man.
enough where you you didn't put those headphones on though.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
that's the only
The
way I could
headphones
get
give you
through it.
more speed.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh shit.
Oh man.
I was listening to the Ferris Bueller song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, whatever is the one when he's like actually running through all the lawns, like just like a
Oh.
like background music.
I almost forgot about that one.
God,
That's hilarious.
Uh,
that's funny. Yeah, nothing that just yeah, other than like headphones, and all every time I usually just blame myself because it was a cheap product.
mm.
Like I don't have much expectation of cheap technology.
You're like, this was garbage, just as I expected.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that sounds like you. I could see that. You don't hold high hopes for things. Like you keep your hopes low. And I feel like that has
No.
served you well because you're never disappointed then,
I hold my hopes in direct proportion with like how much value I think the item has.
which is low.
Well, if it's a low tier product that's only like doing one thing, like
Yeah, some people buy low tier products and like this might be like a banger. And sometimes it's like that can happen. Like a
yeah,
good cheap product.
yeah, I don't, yeah.
You're just like, I
Um,
doubt it.
well, I just don't see the point. Like if it turns out that way, great. But to expect that, that seems strange.
I mean, you don't have to expect it, but just like the hope, just a glimmer of hope in the background.
That's what an
Just a,
expectation is. Like
just,
you're just renaming expectation.
I mean, you can expect that something won't go well, but still hope it does.
Yeah, but I hope that way in sort of the way like I have to hope that the things go in a linear path in my life. Like it's just I hope I live. Like yeah, like you know what I mean. Like I
I
wouldn't.
hope I'm still alive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like it's not in a way that I can control like the actual quality of the product.
I suppose. Yeah, I think I would generally say I have more hope than you about almost anything in general. Like if
Uh,
you were to show both of us like a random thing we've never heard about, Like I feel like my hope meter would be like higher than yours for no
Yeah.
reason. Like we could take the
Yeah.
same things out of the product, but yeah, just
Yeah.
that's what it seems that way. I'm just like
Yes.
maybe this could be good, and you're like,
I
it's like I wouldn't put that expectation on it, which is fair.
Well, saying
It's
maybe,
just
like,
like
yeah, maybe
yeah.
it could be, but I don't know how to get like pre-excited about something. Like unless I've done it before. I usually go in just saying like if I'm interested in it, yeah, there might be a hope that it's good. But like what you're describing, like low tier product, like no, that's
Like how often do you feel disappointment in something or like yeah,
uh
like real disappointment?
yeah, I wouldn't say like super often, but like yeah, why would I be like really disappointed? I only place like expectations that would place me in a like disappointment stage if like it was something or someone that I really trust. So in that way, I feel like I know the mostly I pretty much know the people I care about a lot. So it's it would be out of character for them to just straight up disappoint me. Like so
I mean,
otherwise I
obviously
probably wouldn't be around
the
them.
whole job fiasco from like the last two episodes, like that surprised
E-
you. Like that surprised feel like that would surprise anyone. Like who doesn't
yeah,
want
I'm
to promote
surprised with
someone
how
without a pay raise?
I'm certainly surprised with how they tried to handle it. Um, but but yeah, like
I feel like that's interesting. Yeah, I feel like maybe I would have been even more shocked and probably would have handled it less as well as you did because my hopes would have been generally higher
well,
of like people in
my
that
hopes are higher,
situation.
but what I understand to be the realm of possibilities is very wide. Like it's very like we said, it's very well within their capability of doing what they did, and I didn't put that past them. I didn't think that was the route they were going to go, but I certainly don't put it past
I would have been like, "Bitch, what? Like, I
them.
don't get a raise. Like, oh no, what the fuck? Like, you
Yeah.
got me fucked up."
Well, I
No,
did get
I'm
a
just kidding. I
raise,
wouldn't say all that, but
but
like,
yeah, I
well,
couldn't
maybe
do
I
that.
would honestly.
I couldn't do that. Yeah, I don't know
I'd
that
be
I could
like,
do that.
"Bitch, you got me fucked up."
Yeah.
Then they'd be like, "Well, you're fired."
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Oh shit, I need to pay rent."
Yeah. Yeah, so you just don't even it sounds like you almost don't even consider it a possibility. Like your hope level has overshadowed what you think is possible for them to do.
Yeah, I feel like for a lot of things, sometimes like if I have to be in it, like in that kind of a situation, if like this is where I work,
Uh-huh.
like I would just like I would force myself to not consider the possibility that anything bad is gonna happen. Because like one, I'm like not powerless. Like you could quit your job, but like you would rather not, obviously.
Mhm.
So like
There's
I
always another
would
job.
rather just block any sort of negative possibilities of what could happen because like I'm not going to quit anyways, which means then like my hope levels are just basically like not unchecked, but like they're more like up because I refuse to acknowledge any like negativity like if I'm
I
not going to change my situation anyways.
Yeah, see, and I
But
see it the opposite way. I feel like that can that for me that makes it so that I can prepare. Like if I don't consider the negative possibilities, how can I be prepared for them when they happen? So like I have to at least consider it so that I can have a plan at least for if those things because like it's really not a matter of if if like it's definitely when like we're all gonna have that where things do not go the way we
And I just
think.
feel like it's like not so depressing, but like it makes me sad to have to prepare for such things all the time for like so many situations. Like for like a lot of situations for sure, like I'm preparing for like what could go wrong. But yeah, there's levels to it and like we're on like slightly different levels. But like I think there's nothing wrong with like your level of it. Like
Sure.
I just,
I would
me personally, it makes me sad to like think of those things like, oh, this person could totally stab me in the back. Like I should probably prepare for that. Like,
Yeah, I don't
I
know
would
that I'm
just rather not
expecting.
think about it. And just if it happens, then I'll be sad then. But if not, then I'll just stay happy for the time being and just
Yeah,
not think about that.
yeah. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think generally like Valero, you're optimistic about things. John, you're realistic, and I'm usually pragmatic.
Yeah.
What does pragmatic exactly mean?
it's like you take the time to think about all possibilities, but you don't necessarily have like a negative or positive opinion about it beforehand.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can see that with you then. So we're a good balance. The the three amigos here. All right, well, I feel like that is a good place to leave it for this week. Hopefully, we could entertain you guys with some random ass topics for the week, and hopefully, you come back next week to It's Basically Monday, which is always recorded on Wednesdays. So until next time, we'll talk
Subscribe to
to
our
you
React channel.
Yeah.
later.
Don't
Our
become a
future
reaction
reaction.
channel because we're gonna do it. We're already doing it. You're
Whoa.
here.
Dun, dun, dun,
Whoa!
dun.